Welcome back to another week of Let's Talk About It. I'm Denise Wright, Mrs. Wright _ for life.
And I'm Paul Wright, Mr. Wright for life.
We're back.
It's been a little while.
It's been a long time, but we're here.
The reason we've come here today.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to laugh like that, but
No, go ahead. So
what
we
we've
got?
been up to? What you been up to?
We've been up to a lot. We've got a lot going on. A lot of work, travel, health, wealth, life. Kids are growing. Things are doing well.
Yeah, we took a little break to focus on our health. Focus on everything. He don't like doing this anyway, so.
I do this for y'all. No, I really do it for her, but I do this for y'all to get just a glimpse of insight. Now that I think about it, I wish. You like that? You want to be low?
I feel like I'm sitting up, like.
I wish when I was coming up, just in life or in the game and business and in anything, there was this kind of a medium where you can watch somebody that you're, someone that you can be inspired by or see the journey or see the struggle or, the climb, everything. So anyway, get right into it because we got a lot going on.
Been doing content, that couple content and little funny skits.
We did a skit where those of you that know me and those that don't, I guess let me go ahead and share.
It's not really a skit because
it was we'll call it just content. You did a piece of content.
It was a prank.
But even outside of that, I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma. I'm a Freemason. Been in both, years and years. Just celebrated and received my 25th anniversary pin last year for Phi Beta Sigma. Thank you. Up in the shirt. And I've been a Mason, just a little shy of that. So I've been a member of fraternal and civic organizations, D9, Greek, historically black Greek organizations, as you could say, for a ton of years. So one of the skits we did, and I wanted to touch on it just before anybody else does, to bring awareness and enlightenment. So this past Monday was Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm a member of, I've been a member of two different grad chapters, Lambda Sigma in Atlanta, Georgia, and now for the past off and on several years now for Xi Chi Sigma. So with Xi Chi Sigma, we just recently we worked with the National Panhellenic Council for.
People. You're looking at the floor.
Oh, I'm pulling my memory, so if I'm not staring in your face, I'm sorry.
Sorry to cut you.
But for Cobb County National Panhellenic Council, they had the MLK parade in Marietta this past week. So I asked the family if they wanted to go. Didn't get much response. I know it was a little last minute for you, so crickets. It was cold, so I digressed. Either way, I dressed up, went out there to do my civic duty, bring awareness to the community. Hug babies, hug and kiss babies, whatever they say, and love on the community and represent. So we did do that. You couldn't go, I guess, at that point. Well, from our meeting, because the meeting was Sunday and then the march was Monday, so you couldn't go to either one. My wife is very clingy. For those of you that don't know, we're both clingy. We're both clingy.
Let's address, because people will consider clingy. Is that
clingy like you want to be around me all the time, I want to be around her all the time.
We are always together. We work together. We.
You see me, you see her. You see her, you see me.
So we're always together, but I think when he's going to his meetings, the fraternity meetings, I can't go. So, I know that. So it's almost like, okay, I guess I don't know how long this meeting is going to be. And, at times I try to find something to do, like you call it. I have separation anxiety. So, that's part of it. We don't really go anywhere much. If he can't come, I'm almost like, I don't want to go. Or if I'm going somewhere, I could drive. We have different cars that we could drive. I would feel like, can you drop me off? Because I know, okay, we're going to ride in the car together. And he probably sits somewhere and wait until I'm done. or we're gonna go together. So yeah, that's my buddy. We stick together.
Yeah, that whole, I mean, we in our 40s now.
Don't.
We in our 40s now.
I
so
just touched 40.
You're in your 40s now.
Not in
Is it
yet.
a lie? Are you in there?
No.
Is there a 4 in the front of your number?
It is a 4, but I'm
That's
not
it.
in there.
That's
It's
all
a
we need.
0 behind it.
People comment down in the
It's
comments.
a 0 behind it.
If there's a 4 in
I'm
front
sorry.
of your birthday digit, your year, are you in the 40s?
I'm not in there yet. Once I turn 41, I'm in my 40s. So I'm still saying I'm not in my 30s, but I'm not saying I'm in my 40s because I'm not in there yet.
Is there a 4 in front of the number?
There's a 4,
So
but
then
there's
you're in
no.
the 4s.
It's a
You're
0.
in there.
It's a 0
It don't
behind
matter,
the 4.
but it's a 4. So you're in your 40s. Anyway.
He just want to say that.
Anyway, we're in our 40s now, and as you can see, we have a pretty decent home, and we like to each other's company, so we're not going out much. If anything, we might invite the party back here with the select few people we might like to vibe with. So, yeah, we're usually in each other's company. So there's times when I have to go do civic duty and stuff when she's not able to come and stuff like that. So I know she gets bummed out, and it is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, so this past MLK, we went to the Marietta parade, and you know, when I'm back in the car coming back, and I'm telling her how it was, and that I'll be there probably in like 5-10 minutes or whatever. So she's like, "Oh, okay, I gotta go," and I was like, "She's getting off the phone for it. Anyway." I figured, okay, she's got to call family. or
No,
something.
let's.
The
It's
short
not
version.
fast forward. It's going back. Okay, he told me that the march was going to be at 11:30, so he left the house. They had to meet up at 10 or 10:30.
I was told it would be at 11, and it was 1 mile, and it's probably going to be 15 to 20 minutes, is what I was told. So, and they said we're meeting at 10:30 in the parking lot. Okay, so I'm there at 10:15, and we're ready. And it's cold. I think it was one of the colder days so far of this little ice spell that we're having. If those of you that know. So yeah, when 11:30 rolled around, and we're looking at our watches like, wait, what's going on? Were we on CP time? For those of you that don't know, the CP is usually referred to when people are late. They call it colored people time. Anyway, so we thought, what's going on? Let me go ask the ladies at the table, and they were like, oh no, registration is from 11 to 12 something. And then the march starts at 1. So now I've got to relate to my, better half here. As soon as I got this information, I'm trying to figure out like, dang, am I going to, well, at least I showed my face. I'm in a few pictures. Do I just slide right now, or do I stay for the cause? Anyway, I told her what was going on, and so we both were a little bummed, and I was like, I got to be here a little longer until at least 1 to figure out what's going on, and then hopefully it'll be over, real soon after that. So that's where we were with that. Anyway, the march was over, the parade was over, and now I'm coming back home. So I called her and told her I'm on the way back home. She's like, all right, cool. She was doing something, so I was like, all right, let her do whatever she's doing. And then I got off the phone.
He video called me.
Mm-hmm.
He video called me, and I'm like, you almost, it's done? And he's like, yeah, it's, oh, okay. All right, I'm about to do something, so I gotta get off the phone. I was shocked that he's not like, what? What you got to do? Because,
That's how she
we
would've
do
did me.
everything on the phone.
That's how she would. Hey, you say you got something to do? I can listen to the little music on my little ride home. I'm fine. I was GoProing, so videoing and all that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, to move it along for sake of the time. I walk through the door, come in. I'm wearing all white. Sigma gear, Phi Beta Sigma, Fraternity Incorporated, Sigma gear. And I turn, I see, look like a dude in all black. I'm like, I guess she was trying to set up the camera to catch my reaction once I got in the house, but I took like a double take, like, wait, what's going on? Who is this? Because she almost looked like one of the fraternity brothers that I met like back in 2014, 15 when I ran into him at the gas station, and he's the one that introduced me to the grad chapter. And I took a double take, like, how the hell did he get in my house? Or how did he know? I haven't talked to him in years. So I was like, how did he know? Only to find out, looking at her good,
It's Sigma Dennis.
it's this lady as Sigma Dennis, dressed from head to toe in my nalia, as we will call it. Our paraphernalia is what the Greek community and the Masonic community would call it. So I laughed because it was funny. She even had like the Beijing, she drew on a beard, a mustache. Matter of fact, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should see another clip.
If I leave them up, because I don't know, again, I don't know if any of, any Sigma is going to have a problem with it or feel like.
And you better leave it up, because again, I'm a
if
Sigma.
they
and I
feel
don't have a
like
problem
they're
with it.
making fun, or I don't know. I just know,
Anyway,
I didn't.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but let me bring it back to the message at hand. So she was in the Nalia and kind of playing the part, and you'll see it. It's funny where she's saying, now she's gonna be at all the events and all that stuff, and this, that, and the other. Now she could go and whatever. It was funny.
Now I'm gonna go and sit in the back of the room.
I was fine with it. When we pledged, some 26 years ago when I pledged, obviously, and here it is. I don't know if we can play music or dun dun dun. We're taught that most of us, the process is a little different for everybody, especially nowadays. It's some of us old unks and stuff will call it a little lighter of a process now, but especially when we were coming through it, you bled, you sweat, you cried, so blood, sweat, and tears, and some people died for these letters. So we don't take it lightly to allow just anybody to put on our Nalia, put it that way. I was okay with it because, again, we've had this conversation. You understand it. It was in jest, and the way it was done, it's not like I'm trying to bring her into something. We've, again, as being a undergrad member of the Zeta Kappa chapter, we were, especially back in our heyday, we were well known countrywide and internationally for our Blue and White weekend. It was a big weekend where we threw a series of events culminating with a weekend of parties that, from a pajama party to a, whatever, picnic and all that stuff. And we raised tens of thousands of dollars and donated tens of thousands of dollars behind that. And honestly, any fraternity brother that came in from out of town that attended that event, as long as they could show reason that they're a Sigma, only paid $3, when some other people at times were paying $50 to $100 to get in an event if it got that crowded. But if they were able to come and do what we call our grip, which is basically a handshake, if they can grip up, because they had just having the nail on, we're not just gonna slide you in, but if you could grip up and you got basically 2 shots to get it right, otherwise all hell was about to break loose. We had a line of brothers that would grip brothers at the door, and if we saw something was a little shaky and one brother kind of stepped back and was like, all right, bro, we're gonna try this again. And at that point, all the other brothers' attention swung that way because we might have to jump on somebody. And it got to the point where we realized that some brothers from out of town would let their friends wear the Nalia to get the discount. I mean, we're all broke college students back then. This is before NIL money and all that stuff. All these hella scholarships and stuff that these kids are getting. But, you're a broke thing, so you're thinking, okay, I'm going to try to get my friend in for $3. But it's deeper than that. These colors run deep. Way deeper than just letting your friend wear it just to get a discount to a party. So oftentimes they forgot to teach them the handshake, and they better not have taught them the handshake. And even if we caught some people did try to teach them the handshake, but there's different forms of the handshake. It's, if I'm approaching you, I have to do something. If you're approaching me, then you have to do something. So it depends on who is in which position determines also the handshake without me giving away too much information, because that's coveted.
Are you gonna teach me the
Hell no.
handshake?
As those of you that know and watch the video, I wouldn't let her throw up our sign, our hand signs, or nothing like that. She was wearing it. It was funny for the moment. But again, I wanted to, make sure we made this before I start getting calls and questions regarding, hey, why you let your wife wear your Nalia and da-da-da, you know how deep this is. So, and the funny thing is, she was like, we probably should. I was like, no, absolutely, we're posting this, and I want to put it on all my platforms because, one, it's funny, and if those of you that don't know, we do also get paychecks from this, from the social media stuff. 2, it also can shed light on the whole purpose of our Greek organizations at this point. Not only the fellowship with brotherhood and sisterhood and that kind of stuff, but we're giving back to the community. It's to uplift and empower our community. I'm wearing all black as well, my black leathers, because one of the founding fathers of the Black Panther Party was Huey P. Newton, a member of Phi Beta Sigma. So at the end of the day, it's about that. It's about protecting and uplifting your community. So those brothers that come to me about why would you let your wife wear that? First of all, are you an active brother? Are you financial? Are you a part of a grad chapter? Are you doing something? Just because, like, I'll watch the news or I'll watch social media and you'll hear this celebrity or this movie star or singer, when they went to college, they were a member of Phi Beta Zeta or something like that, or Kappa Chi or something like that. And I'm like, when they were in college, they were a member. What does that mean? Because us as D9, Divine 9 is what they would say, I guess. There's 9 historically black fraternities and sororities that when we pledge for life. So the goal is you go in and that's who you're with from that day until you pass away. You enter a different chapter when you pass away. If you're an active member. Now, I know there's people doing denouncing and all that foolishness for whatever reasons. We're not going to go down that path. But again, it's for life. So those brothers that just pledged in high school, in college, and they were active in college and haven't done anything in the last 25, 30, 40 years, I wish, in the words of, can we bleep? Because I would say, I wish a mother would say something to me, an active member, an entrepreneur, a healthcare, professional out here saving lives and doing things in the community left and right, giving out scholarships. From the minute I became a member, even before I was a member, I was always, doing some kind of civic duties till to this day. So these letters aren't just on me just to rep. Like at the end of the day, I'm giving back. We're doing things. So, and you see my work, you know what I'm doing. So again, if it's not coming from a brother of that caliber, I wouldn't even want to entertain the conversation. So if you hear or see this, don't even ring my phone about any of that foolishness unless, again, what do they say? If you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. So unless, you're coming from a place of quality as a brother, as an individual, a Greek member, don't even ring my line with foolishness.
So, and you also have to just clear that it wasn't something that you tell me to do or ask me to do and play around. And again, I'm saying, oh, I'm going to be one of the brothers now. It's not like I'm saying I don't want to be a part or saying the organization is trash or none of that. None of that was in the video. Everything was like, I want to be with my husband. And if I'm a brother for that 30 minutes or an hour, however long the meeting is, then I'll do that. I'll be Sigma Dennis. What? Get with it.
Even if you pledge Zeta, which is our sister organization.
But I'm still going to be there.
So yeah. So it was funny. I died laughing. I'm sure a lot of the comments, a lot of people are laughing, sharing it. It's funny. So again, in no way, especially another thing when we pledge, our goal is to never bring reproach upon the organization, basically defamation or people to look down upon the organization. So again, if you're shedding, because growing up, I'm from Jamaica. I'm from the islands. We didn't have a lot of family members that were Divine Nine or Greek, as you would say it, those kind of things. So I didn't know to look up and be like, what is this about or whatever. So if this brings a moment of somebody seeing that your family, you got family members that are still there.
And a lot of things that, you'd have to kind of enlighten people about.
Honestly, you can go to a Greek store or whatever store. They don't ask for you to show that you're an active member, because again, at the end of the day,
or a member, because you have members.
Members, period. They don't ask that you're a member of anything, because anyone could go in and buy something. So you might be buying it for a family member that's in an organization, one way or the other. So it's not like with military or law enforcement. In some places where you go to buy something that says something like that, that store has a responsibility or a duty to check that you're active law enforcement in some way or active military. If you can't show that, they can't sell it to you. But it's not like that with Greek organizations or fraternal organizations in that way. You want to buy it, you can buy it.
Let me ask you this question. So saying
wear it
that,
at your own risk, because if somebody rolls up on you.
That's what I was just going to add. Saying that I'm not your wife and I was a female that
wearing
acting
our
as,
letters?
yes, and is out in the street. And you as a active member period, what would be your reaction or
So what happened? There was a video just recently going around. I saw where a Kappa was in Mexico, and he just saw a guy, looks like a Hispanic guy that spoke no English, sitting on the street or whatever. They were walking down whatever strip from the club and stuff, and the dude was wearing a Kappa sweater or whatever. So he's like, "Hey, where did you pledge?" And the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, no English." And he was like. So his friend was there. He's like, "Where did you get this from?" And he grabbed the shirt. He's like, "Where did you get these letters from?" He's like, and then his friend was like, "Oh, one of your guys. He gave it to him. He said he did good, so he just gave him the shirt." He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna need that. Come up out of that." And they're like, "Oh, no. He don't have nothing on to read." I don't care. You get up out of that. So if you're a female, it's a historically black organization, and fraternities are for males. Sororities are for females. So get it right. Don't call a guy, what sorority are you in? And don't call a girl, what fraternity are you in? Sororities are for females. Fraternities are for males. Yeah. So if you see a man wearing anything that's female related, those Divine Nine organizations, there's an issue there, and vice versa. If you see a female
wearing his wife or girlfriend stuff.
Especially not out in the streets. If you're doing.
But I'm saying like a female.
So if I see that, no, you gotta.
So you would tell the lady to get about her husband's stuff
right now. On the street.
On the street.
So there's a difference. If it's his shirt and all that kind of stuff, then we have a little bit of an issue. But if it's cold and she's wearing his jacket because he gave her the jacket, or that's the jacket that was in the car, I would have a little more leniency there. I would still come over and say something, and she's like, "Oh, this is my husband's jacket. He's a such and such and such, and he's a member of, you know, whatever, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I get it." Because again, when we've been out and all I have on is my frat jacket, I'm not gonna sit there and let you be cold. I've put my jacket on you to make sure that you're warm. So again, as a male, you're gonna take care of your women. That's beyond what. Oh, don't let anybody wear your nail yet because I'm there with you. Again, even if my jacket was in the car and that's the only
And
jacket
you're
that's
not
there,
there.
I'm okay with you wearing it because if somebody did approach you,
But what another brother?
you can explain to them what happened. And my husband is an active member and such
what
and
if
such
they
at
say,
Xi
"Give
Chi
me that
Sigma."
jacket"?
Then you get me on the phone because we're going to have words. And if I need to come down there and check a brother, I sure as hell would. Because at the end of the day, most of the time, most of the people that do that kind of stuff are just some ignorant people that did it when they were in college, might not even graduated, left the letters a long time ago. Because again, it's just letters, but it's what you do behind the letters. What are your actions behind the letters? What are your actions in the community? How are you uplifting people now? The fact that you did it 30 years ago when you were in college and you ain't done nothing since, you know, I would call that also kind of bringing reproach upon the organization. Because at the end of the day, you're teaching kids, you're teaching the new generation, especially if you're, you know, I know people that are teachers and stuff and they don't, you know, they're not active and stuff. So it's like the kids looking at you like, oh, so you did it back then. So how did that work? I thought it was for life or whatever. What are you showing them? That, yeah, you could just drop it and walk away or whatever.
So for you to be an active member, you have to pay your dues. And what is it?
No, that's called financial. You could be financial and not active. So at the end of the day, at
That's
bare
giving
minimum,
back.
you should try to be financial. Like some organizations, I mean, just not to put our business out there, but being nationally financial is like $200 a year that you pay to the headquarters to
That's
say
not-
exactly. So to say you couldn't come up with $200 to be, and again, everybody's circumstances. I'm not pocket watching. I don't know what people's circumstances are. Again, to each his own. But to be financial from the headquarters level, you can pay $200 for the year, and that shows that you're active for the year. Then you want to join especially if you've already graduated college or something like that, or you've left, I should say, if you've left college, because not everybody graduates. If you've left college and you were undergrad, you can now join a graduate chapter, whether it be fraternity or sorority at that point. And that's where you're still out in the community doing activities. You're interacting with other organizations, you're doing community service, volunteer, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you're doing some scholarship for service is what we like to call it. So you're either teaching young people, you're giving away scholarships, you're doing community service, you're doing all of that. Whatever it takes to uplift and be a good role model in your community is what we try to do.
Okay, and what else I have with it? Well,
But yeah, that was my spiel on it. Because again, I was expecting
But
hopefully
again,
to get some phone calls. But
if
if you were thinking of calling me,
go ahead and
check
call
yourself
him.
first. If you don't fall into that category, don't ring my line because I will cuss your ass out. Point blank, period. If you're not active and financial, if you're not out there doing things for the betterment of the community, how are you living? Not just fraternity wise, how are you living lifestyle wise? That's all I'm gonna say. Lifestyle wise. If somebody was to open closet doors, what would they see? You know, don't ring my line unless you're living right, all in all.
But again, just because of the letters and female wearing it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
If I offended anyone, I apologize.
and again, as an active brother, it was funny to me. And especially having watched, because again, there's different videos. I know there's different platforms on Facebook and Instagram. It's little reels, so it's 90 seconds is the most we can put out. And that's why I wanted to follow it up and be able to speak on the subject. Because again, not only are we shedding light on organizations in general, but it's also those rules. Because to go back, when we were undergrad at University of Florida, before I pledged, I remember getting to observe Blue and White Weekend before we went, and it's like, wow, we didn't know anything about this. We didn't know that you can't break a party walk. We call it party walks with the Greeks, or stroll. You see them going through the party, you're not supposed to cut through because you were trying to go to the bar, or your friend's on the other side, so you want to cut through their line. You will get...
Like just a regular person can't just, or
Absolutely not. The regular person or another Greek organization. And the Greek organizations know, so they wouldn't disrespect and try to cut your stroll because they wouldn't want you to do the same to theirs. But a regular person, a me fi me is what we used to call them back in the day, Gen Pop, whatever, they didn't know. You don't know the rules because coming in, you don't know anything about Greek. So you just see 30 dudes doing something in a little circle, and you trying to get from where you are to over there, you might cut through, and then you might catch a beat down. I saw plenty of fights over something like that. Some people know what they were doing, and others unknowingly. And usually it was a little more lenient for the unknowing person, because somebody would just grab them and check them and let them know you can't never do that. Don't ever break, a line or whatever that's going on. So again, all of this brings awareness and some enlightenment and some education. So when you see somebody in the community with letters on, and if you want to find yourself in an organization like that, if you always wanted to be a Sigma, Kappa, Alpha, Omega, Iota.
Why you look like that for Iota?
We're not even going to talk about it, but yeah, because if you want to be any one of those, or AKA a Delta, Sigma, Gamma, Rho, or Zeta, it's the same thing with a Mason. On our cars and stuff, we'll put to be one, ask one, because that's the only way you get in. To be one, ask one. So if you see one in your community, reach out to them and say, hey, you were thinking about such and such, or tell me a little bit about it or whatever. And then, at that point, you probably get connected and share information. They can tell you what's going on in the community, invite you to a charitable event or something like that, doing some community service. And that's where brothers or sisters can get to know you better at that point and decide about bringing you in, because nobody is going to bring in somebody that they don't know from anybody. Because as a brother, me meeting somebody on the street and he wants to pledge, and then I bring him to my chapter and turns out he's garbage, I just vouch for somebody that I had no idea, and he's garbage. He's lazy. He is doing craziness in the community. He's slapping around his wife, cheating on her, has a million kids out of wedlock and not caring, whatever. Those are things that, again, we want to be pillars in our community, stand up individuals. So you try to live right and that kind of stuff. So usually somebody's got to know you and see, is this somebody I would be around? If it's somebody I would be around and I could vouch for, then yeah, I would tell them about the next steps. Otherwise, I might